Good afternoon, folks. This is Darth Ravager 7 coming at you today with part 2 of the 01 Studio Series Seed. I took advantage of a rainy day yesterday and did a couple of things. I filmed this and also added some stuff to it, which you'll see in part 3. But right now, let's focus on part 2. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, all the stuff down below. Thanks again for watching. Let's turn this around and get into part 2. And here we have Primus with his space bridge in stow on his back, and you can do this in a couple of different ways, guys. You can actually put that back down in here and tab that back in like it was before and have his guns blazing forward, or you can just you do that however you want to there. Right here in the back you got some pieces that open up on the back where his missiles are, and it has 2 peg holes, and I'm just going to lift this back off of here, and you take those 2 pegs and you get those 2 pegs to line up into these little slots right here, and then you can lift this back up as you get it on there. So you just do this like this and like this, and then you can lift it back up there, and voila, he's got his space bridge in tow for the robot mode. And the next thing I want to get into before we go into articulation is that head swap, where we take that comic book accurate head and swap it with that guy right there. And we'll just go ahead and knock out the head articulation while we're here. So we're going to take this off, and once we get the space bridge off, we want to open up that back side there and get in here to this little section right here, to where you just take this head and just spin it on out, and boom, you can take that off and stick the other one on, and then we'll get this light going on right here in just a second. Now this head will not articulate up and down at all, if I can get it to go in there at all. There we go. It only does side to side, just as you can see right there, but this still looks really, really cool all the same. Get this peg back in, these going on here, and there's that comic book accurate head. When we zoom in on it, this head looks a lot like Rodimus Prime's head. Looks really awesome. Like I said, due to the way it does, it can only swivel side to side. It has no it has a little bit of wiggly waggly because I don't have it on that Alphatron head down in there. But I mean, you can go look to the right, you can look to the left, and it has no wide up feature like that, because when you pop that back off, you have Alphatron hiding out with his head there in the bottom of that. Hi. And turn it over, and you can just lift them right on out of there in his condensed little form. We'll set aside the helmet real quick. This is supposed to come off, but on mine it doesn't really come off that I can tell. So a little simple transformation there. Boom. Get these feet to come back around real fast. Separate, unpeg those, and unpeg his legs, and boom, he's into his awesome looking little robot mode, looking really awesome. He's got a little bit of waist swivel. If I could get that back to pop off and get more of that. He's got those ball joints there, elbow hinges there. The head doesn't move, the fists are fixed, and he's got some front and back pivot there on his feet. But that Alphatron is just a nice bonus that is actually the comic book accurate head that is reminiscent of Rodimus Prime, and a total win in my opinion. The antennas do articulate on Primus's head just like Optimus's does there, and we're going to get it slide back onto the base of that and get on into the rest of the articulation there. So you do got all the way around that you can go there with his head. He can look down that far, he can go look up that far. So that's what you don't have really with the Alphatron head. These are on ball joints here, so you can articulate those in and around. It's got some hinges here, so you can fix this however you see fit, or have him blasting down and looking down and the like. On these upper arms, you got really tight, it goes only so far. So it's got really tight stuff there. You got another hinge here, it's ratcheted and clickety, really nice. I want to say you had an upper, yeah, you got an upper bicep there. You got that 2 places right here with the elbow, so you can get a good range of movement there. all the way around on the wrist. That's a ratchet there. I love that. Each of the fingers are articulated as well. Two knuckles there. All the fingers. You can get any kind of those things. You can make it say hang loose universe. You can get him to do all that. That's really, really nice that you can get him to say hang loose universe. On the upper chest, you got these opening flaps that you can expose his arsenal of missiles there. And if that's up, that won't go as high. So there is that arsenal of missiles inside of his chest. On the back side, if you spin this around, he's got kind of the same thing. It's a mirror kind of thing. So he's got you covered frontwards and backwards there, guys. Looks really, really good. Symmetry on these really does give me peace. He does got like a 2-click back crunch, and I love the spine detail there. Looks really awesome. Crunch it back. He's got upper chest that can articulate, so he's got that articulation point. He's also got waist that he can also do that, so you can actually see him turning to the side and blasting away that way. Don't know that he would ever really stand. He's a planet, so like that's the other thing that's crazy. You really can't demonstrate here. But then let's close these chest pieces on back up here real quick. He has flaps that can move and do stuff that way. You can go all the way back like this. And then like, let's try to do it with this right leg here. He can go all the way up and hold it there, just like that. He can go all the way back, and that's so tight it holds there. So that's awesome. He can get the full, and I do mean full, fan damage. I don't know that you would want to do fan damage in space, but boy, he is heavy too, guys. Let me pause this a second. Get back into the swing of it. He's got upper thigh swivel there. He's got a couple of different knee joints there. He's got 2 of them there, and you don't want to bend it back here too far because that can get a little bit crunchy there. And then is there another? It's just an upper thigh swivel, and then he's got his ankle tilts there, and very little play there that he can do there. So that's his articulation in a nutshell. And the final thing I want to leave you with for the next part is that, let me put these skirts back down. Like, that's so cool that they articulate and swivel and do all that stuff and things, and then come back down and get back into a standing position there. He is so cool, man. I love him. I'm going to have to install his light kit in that, and I got to get his chest kit in that, and I got to take these guys off one by one. I'm going to set out some bolts for the different sizes so I don't get that mixed up, and I'm going to be taking some time and trying to fill in every little flipping hole where it goes, wherever it goes, how it goes, and taking a closer look at those spikes. That's on the instruction sheet. Thanks again for tuning into this part of the articulation and the Alpha Trion and the Space Bridge configurations, and we'll come back at you hopefully with a fully looking at him in full there, covered head to toe in his robot mode with those little orange goggles. We'll take a 360 look there, and then we'll go. I'm not going to do the transformation ever of this guy on there, and that's going to be the brutal part along with all those sharp pieces and parts. Thanks again for tuning in. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, all the stuff down below. We'll come at you part 3, like I said, all bulbed up and spiked out, and it'll take a bit of time. Thanks again for tuning in. Stay tuned.